All information given in this episode is for educational purposes and should not be tried prior to consulting a licensed physician and or certified state or accrediting bodies. We encourage all listeners to research, talk, and make all inquiries to all of the important professionals and governing bodies before acting on any information heard on the De La Fit podcast. Any action taken by any listener is done by and under their own omission and action, whether conscious to the results, positive or not.
To the De La Fit podcasts, 360 degrees of holistic fitness and health, all in one podcast.
Salutations and proclamations. It is I, it is you, it is us, it is we. Together we make up the digital family that is the De La Fit podcast. I'm your host, Philly's #1 son, aka the Body Alchemist, SunMoon Bay, bringing another podcast excursion. Welcome one and all to the 360 degrees of holistic fitness and health that is the De La Fit podcast. It is a beautiful Friday and the weekend of Labor Day. That's right, we are finally here. Summer came, we prayed for it, and now it's here, and guess what? It's gone that quickly. Children are about to go back to school. We're preparing for back to school celebrations. Parents have already bought back to school supplies. If you haven't, I urge you to check out your local library because many of them are doing some type of back to school celebration. At least if you're in the Philadelphia area, many of the local libraries are doing some type of back to school celebration, some type of back to school event. And many events are giving away free school supplies. We know how times are tough for many of us. Even if you are doing financially well, it doesn't hurt to have a friend. So the library is being that friend and helping many of parents out there by doing certain events that focus around literacy as well as focusing around back to school. So I urge you to hit up your local library or go to the library's website, which is freelibrary.org, and check it out, freelibraryphiladelphia.org, or just if you're in Google, type in Philadelphia Free Library and find out what's going on in your neck of the woods. It has been an interesting summer, I will tell you. This is not going to be a typical show. I am not in the studio, as you can tell. I am out. I am currently preparing for a little excursion of my own. I will let everybody know more about that as things unfold. But the thing of it is that I always like to talk to the listeners out there, talk to my supporters out there. And I could have just put on an old podcast or something like that, but I had some thoughts that I really wanted to share. One of the thoughts that came to my mind, the fact of is that self-care and being the real you, the genuine you, something that we all too often do not feel confident to do. This is something that I wanted to talk about today. Again, this is not as much a fully scripted podcast like we normally do. This is kind of just like me talking and giving a little bit of my feelings. We're going to actually have Dr. Karen Dunstan next week. We're going to be doing a great interview with her. It's going to be filled with all types of information because she is going to be walking us through her medical experience coming up conventionally in the medical profession, and then also learning and switching to becoming a holistic practitioner as well. And that's just 100% going to be a great interview. She dropped so many jewels that I think so many individuals are going to enjoy that and really be able to benefit from that. And that's going to be next week. I definitely wanted everybody to have the chance to listen to that because I normally in my experience when I put out certain podcasts during the holiday weekend, because people are traveling and moving and trying to get out there. They miss some of the best content. So this is why truly I'm putting this out next week, because I want everybody to really take advantage of it and listen to it fully. And trust me, I know how it is when you're busy, and you get the chance to take a little break or do something or what have you. You want to take that break. And sometimes, we're planning, we're moving, we're going back and forth. We're in our busy lives. We're in it, and you miss some of the most valuable things possible. So that's why we're going to do that next week. But I did want to put something out this week, sharing it. And again, it goes back to self-care and what I'm learning from my mentors, which I'm proud to say I have some very great and good mentors who push me to be better. And I'm so very excited and so very happy and grateful to have these individuals in my life, and for them to accept me and help me be better. But I was talking to one of my mentors, and one of the things that was brought up is that, you have to give yourself that self-care, that thumbs up, that pat on the back. I think a lot of the times when we're out and we're in our purpose, or we realize our purpose, or we're working for a goal, or we're moving towards a goal, we're progressing towards a goal. Keyword again, it's good to have some people who can be honest and bring back mindfulness to you as to listen. Part of the balance of being successful, of progressing, is to be able to say, you know what, I have accomplished, I have done, and give yourself that care. Give yourself that thumbs up of approval, that yes, you have done it. That's good, because a lot of times we don't often do that. And that can almost become dysfunctional in itself. It's almost like being, I'll say, in a relationship with somebody that doesn't give you enough credit, that doesn't give you that love back, and you're always putting out. You have to put it in. And I think that's something I'm starting to learn more and more of. And it's difficult. An old Moorish proverb is know thyself. As well as study thyself. You have to study thyself. Now, I might not be saying it correctly. My way of reinterpreting sometimes, gets a little lost in my Americanism. But basically, the way it's done is the fact of it's taking and understanding that, you have to constantly study yourself and learn yourself, because yourself is changing constantly. There is no end to the study of self. And we are our first relationship. It seems so strange to talk about, but it's very true. Our first relationship is with ourselves. Truly, you know your intimate most thoughts. You know what you like, what you don't like. You know what you have questions about. You know these things. You know what doesn't make you feel good. And it is something that we have to come to terms with in the fact of that balance, making sure we are balancing ourselves. And balance is such a tricky thing, because it is like a seesaw. It is a balancing act. One little thing can totally turn things topsy-turvy. And for us, it is so important to remember this. I often think about that within my own life, and in the fact of the things that we're doing and the things I'm involved in myself. And I was actually having a conversation recently with a coworker, and we were talking about being a good mentor to children and teens. And what came up was the fact of knowing when and where to leave certain types of energy, because in the atmosphere in which I work in, we are dealing with so many youth from the public, and we don't always have a complete picture of what's going on at home. Unlike a lot of schools and other academic programs who have more involvement, the type of work I do in literacy-based and educational-based teaching is more drop-in. So you have connections can be made with children and teens who are coming in with no real background. And I recently did a presentation with one of my mentors, and we were discussing this. And during the next day after our presentation, my coworker was bringing up, he was leading the discussion about how do we continue to be good mentors, and it is in knowing how to take care of yourself and knowing when and where to say, okay, this is now being detrimental to me because I'm not functioning. And I know this firsthand, just the type of person I am. I'm a Cancer. I'm very family oriented, and I want people to feel comfortable. And I equate comfortable and progress and positivity with a sense of belonging. And I want to give that to others. So it is such a important thing to me. And when you want to really help, when it's genuine, it's hard to not think about it. For me, it's hard to not think about issues that is going on with a child or a teen, because you want to help. You want to be that anchor, because at least for me, you know what it is to feel like at times when you don't understand, or when something is troubling to you or something like that. And to me, that is one of the worst feelings in the world. And I've been blessed to have very good people in my life who have helped me in the times where I was most confused or conflicted or things of that nature. But what about the young people that don't have that? You know, so it's a thought, it is a process, and it's something that to be a good mentor, to be good at anything, you have to be good to yourself. And you have to understand that sometimes you need a break. You have to understand that sometimes it's not bad to pull away. It's healthy to be selfish at times, but I don't really take it as being selfish. And I think that's one of the things that we all need to really understand, is that there are some things that are good about different thought patterns, as far as taking that time for yourself and giving to yourself. And you know, it just all goes back to that balance. I don't want anybody that's listening, I know I seem to sometimes go in and out of coherency when it comes to my talking, but and when I say that, meaning that sometimes I jump from thought to thought. I don't want anybody out there to be like, oh, he's crazy. No, it's not that. I'm just saying the fact of it is so important to go back to that balance and realize there's so many pieces to the puzzle that make us balanced. It's why it's so important to go back to that circle, that 360 degrees that we're always talking about. That is so important. It is extremely important when it comes to our health. Because if we're going to give back to the world in any way, shape, or form, you have to be able to have something inside of you to give. And if you don't have anything inside of you to give, then what's going to take place is that, you know, your destruction is destructive to you. You know, you can't give everything to everybody. I think that's one of the biggest things that I have discovered, or continue to discover as I learn. You can't give all of you to everybody. You can't just give to your family and your job and not give anything back to yourself. You can't just give everything to your lover and not give anything back to yourself. It is a reciprocal thing. Relationships are not about just taking. And I think once we learn this in conjunction with our balance, then we can truly start to really have good health. It's no different than when you're lifting heavy weights and you lift heavy all the time, and you're lifting and you're going to failure all the time. It's not always healthy. You have to learn to take a break. You have to learn to, all right, today I'm going to do something light, or today I might not do anything at all. It is that balance. It's the nightfall meets the morning. It's the left meets the right. It's the up meets the down. It's the yin meets the yang, man and woman. And I know many individuals have their own thoughts of this, but that is the genuine truth, So that's kind of my thought for this week, heading into this Labor Day weekend. I'm going to be taking some time for me, going to be exploring some things and bringing them back to you all out there. And I'm excited. I'm definitely excited about this, bringing the things back that I learned, bringing the things back that are going to help me to you. Because again, that's what this is all about. The family, the village, and each one teach one is such an important thing. It's such an important task. And we're all tasked with it. We all have the responsibility of helping one another. So, that's what this really is about. And I hope everybody enjoys their Labor Day weekend. And I hope wherever you're listening, you enjoy your holiday. And holiday just doesn't have to be because it's a quote unquote, I'm throwing up air signs right now, the air quotes right now, but holiday just doesn't have to be because of your country or your state or wherever it is that you're living is celebrating. It can be your own personal holiday. Take that time out. Take that time out to get your energy back, to bring in the love that you need to resuscitate yourself, to nourish yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, in that complete circle. Take the time out. I think we a lot of times we feel guilty about that. Give, and feel bad when you ask for something back. But there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to end this podcast early, much earlier than many podcasts. It's not, as we say, the same as others, but it's just me sharing some thoughts this time. I'm so excited. Like I said, next week we're going to have Dr. Karen Dunstan. She's going to be talking about some amazing things. I'm so lucky to have her here on the podcast. And we're going to be going back to our regularly scheduled format, which is going to be excellent. But I just want to take the time out to tell all of you, please take care of yourself, love yourself, because when you love yourself the right way, I know you will truly love others. Be safe, be calm, be peaceful. Peace. Hey, you, with the earbuds in their ear. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? When I was trying to get my podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcasts. I like to upload my episodes directly to the app and then promote. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast, make money doing it. Go to anchor.fm/start to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
You've been listening to the Delafit podcast. Ta-ta for now.